This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we are your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And we are sadly, very sadly, already finishing off our Halloween arc. It's
October's gone so fast.
I know, which is also funny because, as you know, many people who have listened to us for a while know, we record things pretty far out in advance. So it's like October isn't even here yet as of our recording this, and
which makes it more sad that
it does.
We're done talking about it, and it hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, but in another way, it kind of gives us like double spooky seasons because it's like we've been in spooky season mindset for a couple weeks now, and then we get a whole other month of
relive it.
Which by then we'll be like recording Christmas and like holiday stuff probably. So, yeah.
We'll have moved on.
Exactly. Our hearts will always stay here. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited for today because Grace is going to finish up her 2-part episode arc of none other than the animated classic Scooby-Doo movie, The Witch's Ghost, and I'm super freaking excited. We're reliving so many memories. So many childhood memories are just like mind-boggling us as we make our way through this. Yeah. And it's been amazing so far. So I cannot wait for part 2 because as soon as you finish it, it means I can go back and rewatch the movie. So let's make this quick because I really want to
wrap it up here, people.
Come on.
Yes. Well, yes. The second part involves even just the first episode was really set up, and now the second part here, we're going to go 0 to 160 twists and turns and loop-de-loops alike, and just as it's probably even spookier, I would say.
And buckle in for usual.
This Halloween roller coaster. And happy Halloween, everyone, because I think this comes out on the 30th, maybe.
Oh shoot!
Dang it! It's about to be Halloween.
Yeah, I meant to double check that because I was like, oh, should I like wear my a Halloween mask like during the whole episode? But no, that would be intense. That would be super intense. Damn it. And I also, during our break there, I meant to look up to see if the name of the witch from that the Salem episode that I did last year was named Sarah.
I think it is, dude.
I'm gonna say it was Sarah. Maybe I'll clear it up next week when we're recording Thanksgiving,
or just text me about it.
Whatever. We'll laugh about it offline. But exactly. Yeah. Anyways.
But yes, speaking of Halloween costumes and such, I thought of this the other day of if y'all listeners and viewers dress up as any cartoon characters from either any of the shows we've covered or any childhood classic, like tag us on Instagram at @SatWornMist. Like, let's see those Halloween costumes.
Yeah. And
on
like if you tag us, then we can like repost them in our stories or some shit. So like boom, let us know. Yeah.
Let us see
I want to see them. Scooby-Doo is a very common. Mystery Inc. is very common. Halloween theme.
We've covered a lot of shows. There's a lot of ground for you to cover.
Exactly.
Here,
a lot. Yeah.
How about it? You got maybe a day till Halloween. Yeah. Depending when this comes out. We don't remember.
We don't know.
And are not going to look it up right now.
Nope.
So to recap from last week, yes, we're covering Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, and Mystery Inc. is currently in Oak Haven, Massachusetts with the horror author Ben Ravencroft. And Ben is trying to, was trying to have a relaxing vacation back home, but the town is overrun by tourists, as the mayor and local business owners are very happy about this. Ben is very sad because it's taking advantage, he thinks, of his ancestor, Sarah Ravencroft, who he believes was unjustly persecuted as a witch 400 years ago. And Sarah is going around spooking, scaring Shaggy and Scooby.
Up the place.
Throwing fireballs, etc., etc. And we left off with Velma hatching a scheme to catch Sarah Ravencroft's witch ghost once and for all. So we're going to start back up again, right where we left off. The gang has just huddled up. Velma's laid out the groundwork for the plan, and the plan is now in action. So first, Velma calls the Hex Girls, who we discussed last episode, the band, back to the stage. they had been rehearsing on. And they show up. Hilariously, Shaggy and Scooby had started dicking around and playing all their instruments, and the Hex Girls show up and they're just like, get off our stuff. And they're like,
I was pissed.
Yeah, they were
like, do not touch my keyboard.
Yeah, especially her, especially Luna. So as Velma is about to explain the plan to the girls, to the Hex Girls, and what's happening, the wind starts to pick up, and the ghost of Sarah Ravencroft, as they hoped, rises from the trees again, cackling and yet again screaming, "The town must pay for its foul deeds." And it flies right at Velma, who starts to run and is like, "I'll catch you girls up in a second, bye," and runs off the stage. And as she's running, she trips and falls. It hilariously goes,
classic,
"Help, I've fallen and can't get up," which is literally the quote. And Shaggy and Scooby run out to try and help her get up. And as the witch nears, about to come and to, like, I guess, tackle, engulf in flames, I don't really know, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby, Velma screams, "No!" And Fred and Daphne whip a tree branch that they had bent all the way back, and it flies out and hits that bitch witch right in the gut.
Ow.
Sends her flying backwards into a net that they set up for her to crash into. And from the net, the ghost witch is all disheveled and caught up and is groaning in pain and in a deep voice. So Mr. Ink runs out to unmask the witch, which Fred does, of course, in a dramatic flair to reveal. Would you like to guess possibly who? Do you want me to run through all the characters?
Yeah. I'm also surprised that we're okay. Yeah, go ahead.
There's twists and turns in this episode. Don't forget.
Right.
I know we're already unmasking. Yeah. We're 5 minutes in. Twists and turns. Because
I was like, wait, this doesn't align with how I remember it ending. But go ahead. Okay.
Indeed. So
run me through the characters.
Okay. So our characters that we have are some Puritan reenactors around town. The Hex Girls, which is Thorn, Luna, and Dusk. Jack, who owns the diner. The mayor. Ben Ravencroft, and Mr. McKnight, who's got all the merch and that type of stuff. And I guess Mr. Ink. It's not Mr. Ink.
Yeah.
Who's behind the witch ghost mask?
Wow. My heart says one thing, but my head says something else, because I'm like, I know we're not at the end of the episode, and I remember this ending differently. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna guess Ben McKnight, because he wants to sell that merch, man. He's like, I gotta get this thing going. The more people, if people actually survive this witch, then man, my shirts are gonna sell like crazy.
You are correct.
All right, cool. It's good. Who?
Mr. McKnight, the merch guy. Okay, pharmacist owners, that's merch guy.
Yeah.
And everyone gasps in amazement and shock, except for Velma, obviously, who's like,
yeah,
duh. Including the mayor, who's gasping in shock as he has followed the gang into town to see what the fuck they were up to. But no one gasps more than Thorn, our main character energy from the Hex Girls, who runs up exclaiming, "How could you, Dad?"
Oh, Thorn McKnight. Okay.
Her real name's Sally McKnight.
Oh, okay.
We learn. And yes, we learn that this is Thorn's dad, Thorn of the Hex Girls' dad, who has betrayed her or taken advantage of the spookiness in their family. And also, hilariously, the gang gasps when they learn her real name is Sally. They're like,
Sally, yeah.
Sally, not Thorn.
They're not gasping that he's the guy. Yeah, it's not your government name.
Yeah, government name.
Not gasping that it's Mr. McKnight. But then, Sally? Poser.
Yeah, gross. But the gang momentarily turns on Thorn as well, and the Hex Girls for being in on the plot before Mr. McKnight says, no. The girls had nothing to do with this. They didn't know at all. But Velma interrupts, saying, yeah, the Hex Girls weren't part of this, but there were others who knew what was going on. And not just knew what was going on, but actively helped. Because, Velma explains, that while the Hex Girls didn't know, Mr. McKnight did, one, steal into their concert stash to get the small fireworks that they use on stage for little explosions to use as the fireballs that the fake
dramatic
witch ghost exactly was using, which she confirmed when she found the residue on the ground. And more than that, she explains that she now shines her flashlight onto the cherry picker hiding amongst the trees, that Mr. McKnight wasn't doing this alone, because that cherry picker couldn't be used by Mr. McKnight while he was up there. There needs to be someone on the ground operating it to raise him up into the air. And it would need to be someone strong to get Mr. McKnight around. Isn't that right? And she flashes her light to another tree. Jack from the diner, aka the diner, who's the big husky guy.
Yeah.
Hilariously, with that, Shaggy and Scooby gasp. We thought you were our
so well.
Friend. Yeah, you cook so well. And he comes out, his head hung low, confirming that yes, he was in on it. But the reveals continue as Velma continues to flash her flashlight further into the woods.
On everybody.
And says, isn't that right, all of you? And one by one, various townspeople, from the hardware store owner to the lady who got the package the mayor dropped off at and that kind of stuff, all step out from behind the trees and in the shadows with their head hung low. And everyone
is massive conspiracy.
Exactly. Everyone is shocked by this conspiracy. And Velma explains that this huge operation was by the entire town for, you guessed it, a tourist trap, essentially. And the mayor stutters in shock about the townspeople. And Velma says he can drop the charade. He was the most sus at all, the one pulling the strings, the deep state operator of all of this. And so he, gives up. And he's like, yeah, I was part of this. And it seems like we're going to say.
It's funny, too, because if he wasn't part of it, in my mind, I was thinking it would be hilarious. Typical mayor never has any idea what the townsfolk are actually going through.
He's so disconnected. And that's when Mr. Rennick says, and that's why I'm going to run for mayor.
And everyone there's like, yeah. This is actually his campaign speech. His announcement.
2000. Yeah. In tune with the people.
I know what the people want. The people want to haunt this town to bring tourists.
Yeah, tourists. Right? Local
this is my boost. Platform.
He rises up into the cherry picker for a stump speech. Still dressed as the ghost, just the mask is off.
Like a witch. Honestly, in that town, probably would work wonders for him.
I mean, it's a good platform. Anywhere in Massachusetts, honestly, that had anything to do with witches.
Yeah.
And yes, it seems like the only adult townsperson who didn't have anything to do with this was Ben, who was in shock and reprimanding everyone with not only how disappointed and ashamed he is that they would get to this level, this new low, but also that they would line their pockets by dragging his ancestors, Sarah's name, through the mud after all she already went through 400 years ago.
How dare they?
Right. Which also, again, I think Brett and Daphne are like, bro, it wasn't even her ghost.
I know. Right.
She doesn't know.
My God, here he goes again. Take a shot every time this guy mentions his dead ancestor.
God, dude. So I guess Mystery Inc. and Ben and the Hex Girls just leave all of the adults of the town to clean up the mess and just go back to Ben's mansion at Mystery Inc. and the Hex Girls to recover from the shock and I think somewhat make amends of Mystery Inc. being hey, Hex Girls, sorry, we thought you were evil witches summoning the spirit of Sarah to destroy the town. Our bad.
To be fair, Sally, your dad, I don't know if I totally believe him when he said you guys had nothing to do with it. But anyway.
Use your materials and you're spooky. So
you kind of had a part to play.
Exactly. Your hands aren't perfectly clean.
Yeah.
But the Hex Girls laugh at this and explain that the whole witch thing they do is literally an exposure and marketing situation. Although they do love spooky witchcraft stuff. And like they kind of explain everything. They're like, yeah, we identify actually as eco-goths. So like, we're goths, but we love the planet. That's our whole vibe. Although Thorne does have a long family line of women who were Wiccas or Wiccans and practiced Wiccan things. And so it kind of like runs in the family, but like they like, pop out their fake vampire teeth and they're just like,
they're fake.
Yeah, like literally Scooby and Shaggy are like, what? And they're like, one of them's like, my dad's a dentist and he like hooked us up with these sweet teeth. And yeah, they're basically like, yeah, I mean, like we like spooky shit and witchy shit, but like we're not witches.
Yeah. Good marketing though.
As a side note, I did do one further piece of research that was not on Wikipedia for this episode.
Oh, okay. Look at you.
Instead, it was on another very reputable source, Urban Dictionary.
Nice. Hey.
For the definition of eco-goth, which I will now verbatim read because I Googled eco-goth and this came up and I said, I must read this verbatim. Okay. Eco-goth. An earth maiden who believes that death is life. She loves shit talking about you with her plant and animal friends. It looks like she dresses in all black, but it's just dirt and soil. If you date an eco-goth, expect to only be a side dick to her number one boo, planet Earth.
Okay, that's like spot on. Also, yikes.
Also,
a lot of ways I identify. Yeah. It's like, wait, am I an eco-goth?
Yeah. I recognize some of this, but I shower. It was all very confusing.
It's like I swear this is actually just all black. It's not dirt. Yeah.
Is it though? Are you dating planet Earth? Dot. But yes.
Interesting.
So the Hex Girls give him the whole spiel, and upon hearing this, Ben is like basically like explains to them the whole Sarah Ravencroft backstory, being like, y'all will appreciate her of like being a misunderstood woman. People think you're a witch. They thought she was a witch. And now her name's getting dragged through the mud by this town. That's why I'm so upset. And the Hex Girls are like, Sarah seems cool as hell. We can hang with her.
Yes.
And why I said earlier that I think like everyone just kind of like, they were like, shame on you. Okay, bye. We're going back to Ben's house is because the mayor and Mr. McKnight just like stroll into Ben's house and office with like no repercussions, which like, I mean, they were running an elaborate tourist ruse, but that's not against the law. And also the mayor's involved. So like,
I was kind of thinking that
prosecute him.
When you switched to Ben's mansion, I was like, wait, I mean, so they didn't get arrested, nothing? There was some assault there for sure. Like they threw fireballs at Shaggy and Scooby. Yeah, that's
true. But only Shaggy and Scooby decided to press charges.
Yeah, exactly. But then when I thought of that, this was all like a 5-second thought process I had as you were talking. I was like, yeah, but the police were probably in on it too there. If like the whole town was in on it. So it's like, oh darn, look, the charges, the file is... they just like throw it in the trash, like, anything, we can't find the file. Oh, the police station burnt down.
The witch burnt it down. If anything,
wait, you guys were the witch.
I would just be like,
she burnt it down.
We didn't break any laws, and or the mayor will expunge any records that I've made. The Autumn Fest is tomorrow night. We'll just do it one more night.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll be done. And then we'll cut ourselves off from this room.
They simply just need to, I guess, so the Hex Girls could press charges for theft, but like, is Sally really going to like
from her dad?
Sue her dad? Yeah. So it's like them or Shaggy and Scooby have to press charges.
Right. And like,
and
Shaggy
at that point,
and Scooby probably
they're not going to do shit. No.
They want to get out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they just like walk back in again. This town, again, what laws did they break? And also clearly corrupt because the mayor was involved.
Exactly.
In all of this. So like, no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah.
Right? Which is basically what Mr. McKnight and Ben have essentially come to do and say as being like, hey, Ben, are you still mad about this? Like,
water under the bridge. Right.
Like, we're cool. Sorry we used Sarah for our capitalist gains.
Yeah.
But like, we're a struggling town and she was an easy choice.
Yeah.
Not just because of the witch Wiccan backstory, But they start to admit here, we kind of remember when we like built the Puritan town and like, found some artifacts? We like kind of sort of probably dug up her grave and found her headstone in the rebel. Sorry.
Bye.
So yeah, basically.
Oh shit. Oh no,
yes.
that would make me mad.
Yep, basically. And then they also say like, oh, we also like don't actually know where her grave was. We just found the headstone in like, yeah, literally the construction like dirt piles.
Oh boy.
So yes, Ben is obviously not okay anymore.
No.
He didn't even know she had a grave in town to begin with. He thought that she was like burnt at a stake and then, her ashes to the wind of shit. But she had a full grave with a headstone. So Ben, is fucking mad now. And the mayor and Mr. McKnight were like, so because we found the gravestone, we were like, oh, she's a perfect person to act like we have haunted because we've disturbed her grave. Like, it writes itself, right, Ben? Right? This could be your next book.
Right.
It writes itself.
You're welcome. Like, we'll give you all of the rights. We're not even gonna like try to sue you for copyright infringement. Yeah,
but what would be nice? A dedication started the book.
But like not needed, but like thanks.
But you're welcome.
Yeah.
But yes. God. So Ben is losing his shit at them, and the mayor and Mr. McKnight go on to say like, yeah, we didn't want to upset you when you first came to town, so we didn't tell you, but we were totally going to tell you.
Yeah. Eventually.
But like literally all we found was the gravestone, no books, no journals, no bones, et cetera, et cetera. And again, like we don't even know where it was. It was somewhere between like the creek and the tree stump in the Puritan village. Like, sorry. Ben, again, is very mad.
Yeah.
But with that comment of between the creek and tree stump in the middle of the Puritan village, Velma gasps and asks Shaggy for the shoe buckle that Scooby found earlier. Shaggy obliges and takes it off his shoe for him. And Velma holds it up to the painting of Sarah above the fireplace. And we notice that this ain't no shoe buckle. This is actually the lock on her journal that she's holding in the portrait.
Oh,
so because it's like a little tiny metal piece that was right on her journal thing.
Yeah.
So Scooby leads everyone back to the Puritan village where he found the shoe buckle right next to the giant tree stump in town. And Ben realizes that he had been searching for all those years around an oak tree that he thought was in the town square, because that's what he thought Sarah was underneath in that painting. But he had never looked twice at this cut down tree stump, which they now see is an oak tree stump. So basically he hadn't even looked twice because it had been cut down years and years and years ago. So now he's like, oh shit, I was looking in the wrong place this whole time for her journal. This is the tree stump that she would do her healing, or the tree that she would do all her healing and stuff under.
Yeah.
So Scooby, with, of course, some little Scooby snacks in his tummy, starts digging around until he hits a thud. And he drags out this old, falling apart wooden chest that was buried deep beneath the roots of this tree stump.
That looks like something that should stay down there. Or sounds like something that should stay down there.
This chest, yes, is old and wooden. The like front clasp on it is like a golden skeleton bat lined with gold everywhere else. So you are not wrong. It's got cobwebs in it. It's got bats like probably fucking flying out of it when they open it.
This shit's about to unleash 1,000 curses.
Your gut feeling is very correct right now.
Okay.
Like, bury that shit immediately.
Keep it buried.
The grave.
This is not a time capsule. Or if it is, it's a very cursed one.
Yeah. Do not touch this shit. But Ben, blinded by his life's mission that he's had for so long now, sprints over and falls to his knees in front of it. Out of breath, Ben lives for the drama. Let me tell you.
Why he's such a good writer.
Because he slowly opens it. And the book that he pulls out isn't the plain old shoe buckle looking locking journal from Sarah's portrait. Rather, he pulls out this gold and bronze book and leather bound book that on the front has a fanged skull. Oh yeah, he should not be touching this fucking book.
Dude, read the fucking room. No.
Literally, Daphne and Velma are looking over his shoulder, being like, this looks pretty creepy to be like a journal. One of them's like, this doesn't look like, like a healing Wiccan book situation. Ben,
Sir Ben, are you sure you want to open that, Ben?
Hey, Ben. Hey,
hey, you okay, buddy?
Hey, Ben,
you all right?
Benny, you doing good? Which they're asking even more so because Ben is fully now standing up, his hair suddenly like disheveled, and he is flipping through the pages of this book. And Velma is like catching some of the pages, and Daphne's slowly backing away, and Velma says, yeah, Ben, I don't think this is a journal.
Yeah.
And again, excuse, I don't want to disturb you. I know this is a big deal, but like, Benny, this doesn't seem to be someone's journal. And he turns back at them again, fully. They've both backed away now because they're like, why is he ignoring us? How is the wind picking up around him and his hair going out of his ponytail? And he turns back to Daphne and Velma with his eyes wild. And this is the other delivery choice that Tim Curry made here.
Love you, Tim Curry, but okay.
Perfect. Always a perfect
Everything
choice
about
that he
him
made
in this
here.
movie is perfect, except, just a few minor critiques, perhaps.
That, that's how you grow his critiques. That's why it's still perfect.
Exactly.
So he turns back as the wind starts to swirl around him and says, that's because it isn't, Velma. It's a spell book. He really emphasizes the L part of this.
Okay.
And he goes back to explain, or goes on to continue to explain, as again, not only is the wind picking up around him now, but it's flipping the pages of the spell book itself. Yeah. And he says that, yes, basically, y'all just got because Sarah wasn't some weak Wiccan. She was a Hundy Pia fucking witch. They persecuted her for the right reasons. She was evil as fuck, you idiots. And therefore, as direct descendant, I'm a fucking warlock, baby.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
So, here. I know Velma was blinded by her love for dear Ben. The townspeople were idiots.
There were multiple red flags of like, this guy may not totally have it together. But she was just too blinded.
His nose is bleeding like a lot of the time, and he seems really hyper.
Yeah.
Is he okay?
This guy has a lot of white powder residue just like chilling around flat surfaces in his house. It's really strange.
Stop theorizing about how his ancestors not a witch, he said, but then he twitches a lot after he says it.
Yeah, it's like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He's like really fucking pissed at the townspeople here. Like, why does he still live here even though he hates them so much?
He like hates them and like hates what they've done to his family, ? And he just won't let it go.
Yeah.
And continues not to let it go as the wind really starts to pick up, and above him this like twister storm starts to form, and we have here, ladies and gentlemen, that's right, a villain monologue.
Yes,
basically.
Remind me why he's so evil.
Yes, and we're gonna have a little side note in here as well.
Oh, cool.
But basically, Ben explains that like Sarah was absolutely an evil witch back in 1657. They were correct to persecute her. And what those other do-gooders, goody-goody two-shoe witches did was they used counter spells to imprison Sarah in her book. So I would like to briefly interrupt his villain monologue to point out a fact that I definitely buried the lead on in our first episode. which would have been, and I bet all of our witchy and Wiccan listeners were probably screaming at the Wiccan listeners were probably screaming at the podcast while I was explaining Wiccas. Because even though Velma the whole time was like, oh yeah, I totally know about Wiccas and Wiccans, and so did everyone else, but mainly Velma was like, yeah, Ben says she used to be a Wiccan. That's totally correct. If they actually had known what Wiccans were, they would have known that long ago Ben had been full of shit. Because while I'm sure Wiccan practices existed long ago, aka witchy shit, it wasn't until between the 1920s and 1950s that the actual practice of Wicca was fucking founded. So Sarah wasn't no freaking Wiccan witch.
Yeah, she couldn't have been.
Her didn't even exist then. Yeah. Wicca didn't come around until the 1900s. So Ben was
like,
really...
yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Ben.
Yeah, she was.
And aren't I so attractive because I know what you're talking about?
I'm so smart. And Ben was like, "What a fucking idiot! She's buying it." Yeah. Wouldn't she even know? Thank God they didn't have Wikipedia back then. Wikipedia back then, if you will. So, anyways, back to our villain monologue. Velma is upset about this web of lies, which, girl, never meet your heroes, because it only gets worse. Yeah, Ben has indeed searched for years and years to find this book, but couldn't crack the case of where it was. However, he did catch wind, again, the small paranormal world, of Mystery Inc. and their years of success at cracking hard to solve supernatural and unsolved mysteries. Yeah. And he knew that he had to somehow ensnare them to find this book that holds the soul of his ancestor, Sarah. But he couldn't just ask for their help because they would never agree against or with their will to find an evil spell book. Yeah, Lord knows the only way that they start mysteries is like totally unsolicited, and when they're trying to not mind their own business. Exactly. Which I'm not actually joking about. That's literally their MO. Need to be nosy, and that's how they get these things. And he's smart. He knew this. Yeah. So he staged that museum mystery from the beginning. Thank you. Wow. We get a flashback to literally him like paying off the curator, paying off the like museum monies, paying off of the security guards and cops. How do you know they were going to be there though? Because was that in Coolsville or like wherever their hometown was? I think he just knew like where they would be on like their paranormal tour. Yeah. Okay. He has money. And I will just very quickly interject here. And something that was biting at me in part one of this the whole time, I was like, wait a minute. Why the fuck was Ben Ravencroft there? Like, why did he just pop up at that museum? And I was like, maybe I'll ask it. I'll ask it later. Yeah, it's like, why is he even in town? But and I was like, maybe she said it and I forgot, or maybe I'll just like joke about it at the end of this. He originally said I was here for research and saw some weird stuff, so I stayed. In reality, though, yes. He knew that one, he could both pay everyone off. Yeah, stage it. Two, he knew that Mystery Inc. does not mind their own business and they would get involved. Yep. Their downfall, honestly, most of the time. Their biggest strength is their biggest weakness. Exactly. It's their own kryptonite here. So, yes, he knew that they would run into each other. He knew Velma was a fan and he could invite them back to Oak Haven. And then I guess he would just wing it from there. Again, he knew they were nosy. He could literally just be like, oh yeah, that portrait in my studio that Velma needed to see. Yes, she was unjustly persecuted. I'm trying to clear her name if I could only find the journal. Lasai. Will I ever find her? Puts his glasses down, flirts his little eyes at Velma. Like acts extra sad boy around town so that like they feel for Velma him. He's like, save him. I just wish they weren't capitalizing on my dead great aunt's name. It turns out I just need to find her belongings. Velma, a journal, but it's somewhere in town, but I'll never know where. It does turn out though that the fact that the townspeople were pulling their own little stunt literally was just by pure happenstance and coincidence and worked out in his favor. So he didn't even need to do that little. Wouldn't it be nice if I could clear her name? The townspeople made Mr. Inc. nosy to begin with, and he just had to sit back and fucking wait. Yeah, that's
Yeah, and his hands are clean, actually, too.
Yeah.
They did all the crimes.
Exactly.
I guess paying off the museum curator was a crime in a way.
I mean, he did pay off like security guards and some cops at the museum. So
like there you go. But like that was out of state. That was somewhere different. And that's out of jurisdiction.
So
exactly. It's like we gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta go back to Massachusetts.
The 90s communication across state lines still not good. Let's hit it. Let's go. The cops aren't going to investigate themselves. We're fine. Let's go.
We're good. That's why I paid them off. We're fine.
Exactly. And hilariously, as a side note throughout all of this, he keeps calling them all mortals. He's like, you mortals can't even understand, which is funny because like, you're not immortal, buddy. You just have like witch and warlock blood.
It's in your blood, but like someone could absolutely kill you.
Yeah. You're like, people burnt witches at the stake. Like they died.
Yeah, people killed witches. Yeah.
Like there's definitely actually some real witches sprinkled in there, I'm sure. But like, you know, you just have supernatural tendencies. But anyways, he wraps up by simply saying, y'all mortals can't even fathom the power of this spell book. And with it, I will free the imprisoned soul of Sarah. And together, we will reign supreme over this mortal ass realm that you peasants are in. And by this point, the wind is now grown so strong that he's basically in like an eye of a storm. Everyone's literally being like blown back from its power. Like they're trying to get to him and keep getting like blown back. And he starts reading from the book to awaken his own powers first, which causes green lightning flashing from the sky and like emanating out of him. And how do we know that the awakening of his powers was successful? Is because at one point, lightning strikes down on him and his glasses fly off. And he doesn't even need them anymore.
He can see. Oh, fuck. Oh my God, that's the key.
Can I see that book?
Yeah, right. I'm like looking for lightning outside my window now. Like, help me.
Yeah, so that's how we know he's a powerful warlock now. A la every like 80s teen movie where like the nerd girl takes her glasses off and is suddenly beautiful. That's what just happened to him.
But,
now he's suddenly
you're even more handsome now. Yeah.
Oh, you are a powerful warlock. Velma's like, I knew I liked you before, but now
this is a whole new,
look
I like you, Ben. Okay.
But plus, I guess I should say, he also suddenly shoots lightning out of his own hands. So that's also cool. Like a hint. Yeah, but he does it without his glasses, so he can see where he's shooting it.
Perfect aim without the glasses. Amazing
aim without glasses. Honestly, may we all be so lucky one day.
Please, can only wish and pray.
I know. And so the mayor and McKnight, because also with this shooting of lightning, he can also like, I guess, like telekinesis people around. Now he's a warlock. He can do a lot of shit.
Yeah, he can do it all.
So he shoots the mayor and Mr. McKnight into the stocks and they close down on them. Then he shoots the Hex girls and they're pushed back against a stake where cord gets wrapped around them to basically burn them at the stake. They are witch wannabes.
Yeah.
Bravely, while he's distracted with this, Daphne and Fred actually sprint up and like basically try and rush him to like wrestle this book out of his hands. But this tricky lion scheming mofo literally just flies into the air laughing because he can also fucking fly. And he lands on a rooftop behind them. Again, he loves the drama. He lives for the drama. It's full like anime style moment where it's like the full moon is taking up the screen behind him and like he's crouched down in like a jumping position with like his hair going everywhere, just laughing. And
he seems like he's doing okay.
Velma's like, do you just need another hit really quick? Is this withdrawal? You gone cold turkey? Are you good? But
just one more bump, you'll be all right.
Velma, Fred, Daphne, I can still save him. I got this. I've seen worse. I've dated worse guys. Which is now probably why in the 2023 series of Velma has now come out as gay. So she's like, I've had enough of guys like this betraying me. I'm going to be true to myself now, finally. I was lying about Ben the whole time. But anyways, Ben up there under the moonlight strikes down a ring of fire that, you know, encircles Fred, Daphne, and Velma in flames. And continues to cackle, saying, that this is all minor magic compared to what's about to go down once I summon my great ancestor, Sarah Ravencroft.
Mm-hmm.
But his moment is cut off as Shaggy and Scooby literally drive through the flames in the Mystery Machine.
Oh, hardcore.
And Fred, Velma, and Daphne are able to tuck and roll into it. Chaotic chase scene ensues where Ben is blasting the van with lightning and fire, and it's slowly breaking down. Scooby at one point is able to grab the book from Ben, but once the van just literally breaks down entirely, Ben slams down onto the hood of the Mystery Machine and snatches it right back from Scooby. And after this, he is not wasting any more time monologuing. He realized villain monologue wastes time, and he dives right into the releasing spell / summoning spell of Sarah as the storm reaches its peak around him, and the ground throughout this little Puritan reenactment town where they were starts shaking and quaking a la earthquake.
Oh no. Until
from the book and the storm around them rises this gaunt, all-white spirit. She has long floating hair in the wind, long Puritan skirts, the same head wrap from the portrait, sunken in cheeks. Her fingers are basically just skeleton bones. And Ben is cackling along with, what was that?
This shit actually worked.
This shit fucking worked, because Ben, cackling alongside her, introduces himself as her descendant and her liberator from her prison. Now that she is free, they can finally rule all of these mortals together. And Sarah looks down at her. And at this moment, let me tell you, dear listeners, as a callback to our first episode, my jaw hit the fucking floor once again. And I did pause this movie to immediately go confirm, as this terrifying skeleton witch ghost, Sarah Ravencroft, opens her mouth and out comes the voice.
Oh God.
Of Mom from Futurama. No changes to the voice. I was dead as Sarah fucking Ravencroft is. I wish I could imitate it. I definitely cannot. But like,
I can only think of imitating it like as Mom, but not like some other like actually scary character.
Yeah, but it's like literally the exact same like British stern-ish voice of Mom.
Yeah.
So for those of you who watch Futurama, it is that voice. I should have practiced it beforehand, but like I cannot do it. So yes, that is again. I think Futurama came out in 99 maybe. So this voice actress was just on a roll and
she was at the height. Yeah,
let's go from
she was in so many other shows too.
No changes. We're perfect. Great.
She's one of those, and not to like continue to derail this, but she is one of those ones who I've noticed like she doesn't really change her voice for the different roles she plays. She just uses her voice. That's why it's like you always know when it's her. She's like, oh shit, that's Trust McNally. Yeah.
Yeah, she's back. And she did the same here. This is Mom from who's also very scary in Futurama.
She is, in a different way, but yes,
but still scary. But anyways, Ben grovels and is so excited to meet his hero, the actual ghost of Sarah Ravencroft / Mom. But she cackles in his face. And it basically says, I would never be caught dead working like a little worm with a worm like you. Ooh. She literally calls him a worm.
Okay, that sounds like Mom.
Yeah, exactly. These little worms. Anyways, she's free now and no one can stop her from punishing the entire world from imprisoning her. And Ben is like, no, I freed you. I'm your hero. I'm your savior. Sarah Ravencroft, though, is just like casually shooting these like energy beams from her skeleton hands, which is immediately killing all of the plants and trees around them. She hits buildings and objects, which all immediately like rot and disintegrate and collapse. She is here to bring death to the world for her revenge, a la Oppenheimer. I am the creator and destroyer of worlds, or whatever.
The destroyer of worlds. For now, I am
like
death.
the quote from Bhagavad Gita or something. Like, I am death, destroyer of worlds. And this is maybe what you would say is not how Ben thought things would go. Again, never meet your heroes. So he is like, girl, we're here to rule, not destroy. And she's like, I'm here to destroy. They imprisoned me. I'm here for fucking revenge.
Yeah, I'm about to kill these mofos.
Yeah, like, you're on the list here, buddy.
Yeah.
And so Ben is like, I have this book. I will imprison you again. I'm a warlock. And he's like flipping through the pages to find the spell. And Mom laughs even harder. She's having a good time right now. Yeah. She's been locked up for 400 years. She could use some fun. Mom's night out, you know?
Exactly. She's like, I'm free.
She's night out.
Needed to stretch my legs a little bit. Exactly. I still got it.
She's like, I'm still just warming up here. And she says, I care not for thy whims. AKA, I don't give a fuck what your plan was.
Yeah.
And she continues to explain, like, that book, honey, you can't do anything with that book. Only a virtuous, magical, good soul can imprison her, like the Wiccans did back in my day, or like Wiccan-esque women did back in my day. So, like, what is your tainted soul gonna do, honey bunch?
Damn burn.
Yeah, and she immediately shoots a little energy orb beam at him that imprisons him in like this energy sphere, and he's just floating in the sky, like screaming against it, trying to get out, being like, but I freed you. And she's like, okay, cute. But in that scooping up of Ben, he dropped the spell book to the ground. And so Fred, Daphne, and Velma start distracting Sarah Ravencroft, mainly like insulting her, to distract her while Shaggy and Scooby run in and snag the book from the ground. In response, Sarah obviously notices this. She starts to turn all of the pumpkins in town to these like evil demon pumpkins who are using like their stems. They've got like little evil faces. They use their stems to like snatch people by the ankles and are like dragging. They catch Daphne and Fred like to their mouths to eat and kill them, I guess.
Oh, imagine getting eaten by a pumpkin. What a way to go.
What a almost good
poetic
smelling
justice.
Death. You'd be like, it's PSL season.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go like this. But luckily Velma is able to smash some pumpkins, if you will, for them to all get away.
Smashing pumpkins.
Yep, another little music reference here. But Sarah is also hilarious. She's like, well, they're dealing with that. I need to get Shaggy and Scooby, who have the book. What else is in town? Turkeys. So she uses her powers to make one turkey who, like, turkeys are fucking scary. Yeah. We have like literal gangs of New York style turkeys in our neighborhood who roam the fucking streets. And I've had to turn around on like hikes and walks before in my neighborhood to like not have the turkeys fucking charge us. Yeah. Anyways, she turns one of them into like a massive, huge turkey who's kind of like a demon turkey. And he charges at Shaggy and Scooby. And again, like, Sarah's having a good time. She's like yucking it up.
Having fun.
She's like, now you're a demon. You're a demon. You're a demon. You're a dead tree. You're a disintegrated house. Like, welcome.
Everybody look under your seat. And you're cursed.
You're gonna die. And you're cursed. And you're cursed. It's 1999, baby. We're gonna party like it's 1999 or 1657.
Yeah, whichever.
So while she's, turkeying it up, Daphne and Velma are able to run and free the Hex girls from their bondage, so they don't get murdered by the Sarah. And rightly, they're like, "This is fucking crazy. We out." But Velma grabs Thorne's arm and says, you gotta stay. And Thorne is like,
why? Yeah.
Leave. You don't think this night's been traumatic enough with my dad acting like a ghost trying to kill people
stealing
or something?
My shit? Yeah.
Like,
why do I have to stay?
Rough time. But Velma says that Thorn is key to putting an end to Sarah. And Thorn is like, I can't do magic. I'm not a fucking witch. And Velma says, no. You don't need to be a witch. You come, though, from a line of Wiccas, like you said.
That's right.
So good magic runs in your blood. And like, hilariously, Thorn goes, but I'm only 1/16 Wicca. Which like just really hit me.
What if she was like, oh, you actually believe that?
No, y'all are fucked. We're out. See ya.
Get the fuck out of here. Bye. Figure it out.
I don't know. This sounds like a you problem now. Bye. This is part of our stunt. Remember the vampire teeth takes them out.
Exactly.
Fake. Bye.
Marketing. Have you heard of it?
I'm gonna be an influencer. Yeah. It's all lies. But yes, Velma says 1/16. That's good enough. You got that Wiccan blood in you and you're a virtuous soul. You're the only one who can do it. So the gang successfully relay races the book back over to Velma and Thorn, who again, Thorn is like, this is not going to fucking work. Like, Velma's got a death grip on me, so I guess I can't run. Velma's like holding Thorn's arm, like, you have to.
You will not leave.
We have to save Ben. I mean, this town. I mean, the world.
She's like trying to break free, but like just like her nail.
Velma, I'm bleeding.
Velma, ow, Velma, your nails. Ow.
But not like the cool Wiccan ritual way. This is hurting.
Like, ow, Velma. Please,
Velma,
look, I'm gonna press charges.
Velma, why do you have a dagger?
Yeah.
But yes, as they're standing there, they also can't run because out of the ground, a demon tree shoots its roots out, slowly entrapping them and ready to ensnare them. But as soon as Thorn gets her hands on the book, which gets thrown to them, the book suddenly glitters and glows blue and zaps one of the tree roots right out of their faces. So Velma's like, I told you so.
Damn it.
And Thorn's like, shit. Fuck. The other two are like, bye.
Bye. All right, Thorn, let us know how it goes. We'll see you at rehearsal next weekend.
You'll be there. Don't forget the show tomorrow night. Okay, bye. Love you. Bad dreams, sister.
Bad dreams. Yeah.
No, they're probably still there deciding. But anyways, Velma perfectly flips open to the right page, and Thorn quickly begins reading from the book that again keeps glowing and like glittering blue. And Sarah Ravencroft screams at this. I think literally instead of screaming no, she goes, nay, because she's from 1657.
Yes.
And I was like, good, staying on brand. Excellent.
Yes, very good.
Stay in character, Sarah. Mm-hmm. And she flies directly at them to rip the book from Thorn's hands. Mm-hmm. But as soon as Sarah touches the book, all of a sudden she basically gets like electrocuted, and we see like all of this electricity and like blue energy like coursing through her body before it suddenly yeets her across the village entirely.
Yikes.
But she flies back up. Yeah, good. Doesn't matter. That's an evil fucking witch from 400 years ago. Yeah, she flies right back up. Yeah. But all of her little demon creatures start shriveling all around her. And Thorn continues to read even faster now, and the growing light keeps growing and growing and growing. And the book starts sucking Sarah into its pages, no matter how hard she tries to fly away.
Oh.
And as her magic becomes undone, the orb that was holding Ben shatters, and he falls to the earth. That in some point in time, some fire got started somehow, probably from all this electricity,
all the shit.
Flying
There's a
around.
lot going on.
There's a tree fucking on fire all of a sudden.
Looters just randomly come out and take advantage of the situation, set shit on fire.
The arsonists are like, my time to shine.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, distraction. We hate this Puritan town anyways.
Yeah.
So yes, Ben is crashing to the earth and trying to run away. But Sarah, she's still fucking mad. And you know what? Whose fault this is to her? Ben's.
Yeah.
So she's not going back alone. And she snatches his ankle as he's literally like crawling on the ground, like in the dirt, screaming for his life as the book continues to suck her in. And we see in a glowing light that Ben gets pulled down into the book too, as the book slams, and the force of this knocks some flaming branches from the nearby tree onto the book, where it goes up in flames. And
shit.
Everyone just watches this happen.
Yeah,
no one was going to help Ben.
Like, nice. Yes, very good.
Even as Ben was being dragged, they were like, you good?
So what time is that concert tomorrow night?
So can I have a signed copy of your book or no?
Yeah, we'll just take
Did you sign it beforehand?
I'm sure he's got some. Yeah.
Ben was like, Ben, you're coming back, right?
Ben doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, we need somewhere to stay tonight, so we're just gonna stay at your mansion. Bye.
And
see you never.
Yeah, Ben, we're breaking up.
It's like his last words, like, we were never a thing. Fades away. Book catches fire.
I broke up with him.
I broke up.
Velma was the one who tosses the branch onto it. Yeah. I broke up with him. That was me. Wait,
so when the book catches on fire, does it like remain intact, or does it like disintegrate?
It should disintegrate.
Oh shit! So yeah, he's gone. You can't even revive him.
Yeah, those souls are
for the best
with this book. Yeah,
he had a good run as an author. I'm sure he'll live on.
His estate is going to do really well.
Yeah, exactly. Those books are going to be turned into movies.
They're going to fly off the shelves now that he's gone.
Although something tells me he wasn't married. Maybe he had kids somewhere out there.
There could have been kids running around. Who knows?
True.
He's all Velma's fangirling.
He got around.
He got a lot of fans there.
Yeah.
And with this, they run and free the mayor and McKnight, who were still in the stocks. The mayor, ever the corrupt capitalist in the government, is like, how are we going to host Autumn Fest now? Our village is on fire and the witch is gone.
Not like, oh my God, civilians, are you okay? Do we need
no tourists
first aid responders here?
No, it's just the Hex Girls and the Mystery Inc. He didn't
still
right. It's also the people that can rat him out about the ghosts.
Yeah. Anyways,
but don't worry, everyone. The next night, the Autumn Fest is still on.
Oh, good.
It's bumping. The Hex Girls are fucking rocking out to another fucking absolute banger, icon, a song that needs to come back every fall. It's like earth, wind, fire, and air. We may look bad, but we don't care. And it's like, in listening to it, it's like an eco goth song about conservation and like stop destroying the earth. And I was like, they're perfect.
Be still, my heart.
God, be still, Hex Girls. And so I would say that's the end, but my last ending thought, actually, it's the end of the movie, but I would like to end with my thought on like, how's this town going to explain the very sudden, without a trace disappearance of a very famous, world-renowned author? But it just ends at the concert, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tomorrow problem.
The Hex Girls are playing.
Yes.
The cops are like trying to interview the mayor.
Excuse me. Sorry. Hey, we're busy here. The
Hex Girls are on. Okay.
The cop is low key like bumping his head too, though. As he's like,
we may look bad, we don't care. Selfies at the concert.
So about that interview tomorrow. Okay.
You know what? The other one's just fully rocking out
in the mosh pit.
Yeah, in the mosh pit. And that's honestly, the end. Mr. Ink gets to get up on stage and play a little bit, and they make it a tomorrow problem that this author suddenly disappeared from the face of the earth with no evidence.
They'll probably just say that he was very eccentric and he went on this like worldwide mission to go and track down like traces of his family and everything and his roots, and then maybe he just got hit. He got caught up. Someone took him out.
There was a big Puritan fire in that village.
Yeah, he was burnt down in that. You have no way to prove that his corpse is totally burnt, and
they just don't get the fire department and like forensic people in there yet because Bones and teeth don't burn that quick, but like they wait a couple days to report. They didn't realize he was gone for a few days.
Right. You're like,
Animal
oh shit,
scavengers
wow.
right at the woods.
Where is Ben? We haven't seen Ben in a long time. Weird. Also though,
like how crowded the town was, so he left.
He left. Yeah, I think he went back to like Europe. He's like British or something, right?
That's what he usually says.
Yeah, I think so. Check there.
Have you heard the Hex Girls? They're playing tonight. You want to go? Cops, don't worry about it. Yeah. So there you go.
And also though, weren't the mayor and Mr. McKnight and the Hex Girls and Mystery Inc. are the only ones, like the other random townspeople weren't there when, so like they truly don't know. So honestly, like ignorance is bliss.
Yep, exactly.
In their case, like just that Mystery Inc. they're not from there, so like that's half of the people that knew right there.
Yep. Well, and the Hex Girls at one point said they were about to sign like their first major.
So they're about to get out of there.
They're about to go on a fucking world tour. They were like, we're about to make our first CD.
This really is just a secret that the mayor and Mr. McKnight have to just hold to their chest.
And the mayor's part of the government and already corrupt. He's going to cover anything that comes up.
Cover all this up. Yeah, exactly.
They're good.
This is his way of like convincing Mr. McKnight to never run against him. He's like, look, if we can keep this to our chest.
Who started the fire? Hold your campaign.
I'll say you killed Ben. What are you going to do about it? Huh? What are you gonna do?
I'll make
you can't prove or disprove it.
Appear again. Yeah, they combed the scene and didn't find any. I'll make sure they find some if you keep your campaign going. Never run against me. You're my biggest supporter and donor now, aren't you, McKnight?
Aren't you? And also, I want a free T-shirt. Thank you very much.
Get me the T-shirts. And
because I did survive.
Because I did survive, and also. We will bring this ghost back next year for the tourist trap. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Make more of those shirts.
This was a hit. You see this festival?
Great idea.
We're in this together.
We're gonna have to.
You want to be on city council? You want to be chairman of the council? Boom, we can work together.
You got a spot. You want to be a judge? You don't have to have a lottery to get voted in. I'll get those votes for you.
Exactly. What do you want to do? Huh? Yeah. Oh my god, amazing.
So, there you go.
Job.
That's
great job.
Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. And yeah, it was real fun to watch and recap, and it was really funny. And I wonder if this was also your experience, and at least hearing about it, was that while I was watching it and I got to the mask uncovering of the fake ghost, I like looked at the time and I was like, there's still 25 minutes left. And then I was also like, why is Ben standing there? I thought he was the bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was like,
I was so confused.
Yeah. That's literally exactly, that's why I said like, oh, my heart says one thing, but my head says another. Like inside, I was like, I know that Ben is the bad guy at the end of this. Like, I remember him being behind the witch, but I guess I forgot that there was a point where the original witch was not actually the one that he like resurrected. So I was like, who the fuck is under there? I don't know. That was really a wild guess on my part. I didn't
remember the resurrection part at all. I was just like, Ben was behind this because he was like, was he like mad about the tourism stuff? But I think he was like actually evil, like, huh? And then once they found the chest, I was like, oh, that's how he was evil. Got it. But yeah, I was like very perplexed of being like, did I make up that he was the bad guy? But
yeah, I think the most memorable thing of this movie for me was literally him like going full warlock. I was like, wait a minute, doesn't he turn into like a war or like something? He's like all evil at the end, but I couldn't quite remember how he got there, if like he staged the whole thing from the jump, or if they found the spell book, whatever, and then he later got, like, I couldn't remember, but I remember him distinctly, like, hair all over the place, like levitating and like evilly laughing. And I was like, how did we get to this point?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because so far he seems like kind of okay. So where does the descent into madness begin?
It was a big fast. It was always there, actually.
True.
It was always.
He was just did a really good job of hiding it.
Exactly. Because, he's sociopath ass. He could hide that shit. But so it was like very fun to rewatch in the sense of like not knowing where the twist happened. Yeah. And so it was still a surprise of how we got there. Because again, I was like,
yes.
why are they unmasking the witch? It's Ben, but it's not currently Ben. What's the process here? So it was still like super fun to watch, to figure that mystery out of like,
definitely. Yeah.
What's happening?
How did this what? Because I totally forgot about Mr. McKnight and like all of them.
Same.
Yeah.
I was perplexed by it.
Totally.
So yeah, there you go. A Halloween
amazing
classic. It's available on Boomerang,
classic.
which you can do a free trial of and watch
Ooh,
it.
nice.
That's how I watched it.
Okay. That one might be worth getting anyway, though, because that's where all the good classic Hanna-Barbera stuff
was on there.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. But yeah, it's a quick 7-day free trial action. So
good to know.
There you go. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Fully in our holiday arc months.
Yeah.
So we'll be starting, I don't even know if we should call it Thanksgiving arc, a fall Thanksgiving arc. There's like not a lot of Thanksgiving content. We'll be doing fallish shows for a month before we do our winter Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Which, I mean, in a way, though, like Halloween is fall, so it's like, do we keep doing like Halloween things?
Spooky forever?
Maybe. I guess I don't know. Are there like Veterans Day sort of shows or like anything like that? I don't know.
Who the fuck knows?
But yeah, we'll keep
it
it creative. I mean, I guess maybe Thanksgiving is kind of the general theme, but like we'll probably branch off from that quite a bit. Like, anything involving like pilgrims and maybe you know, American Indians, Native Americans, and
history-esque things.
Stay
tuned.
Yeah,
you'll figure it out with us.
But if there is Thanksgiving stuff, like maybe drop it in the comments. Let us know if there's. Although we'll probably by the time you all see this and watch this,
we'll have it for next Thanksgiving.
Exactly. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. But anyway,
and between now and next week when we start that fall/Thanksgiving arc, who should our listeners and viewers tell about the show?
You should tell your trick-or-treaters, you know, as they come to your door tomorrow, tell them, although this is not really appropriate for those kids, but I don't give a fuck what kids listen to.
Shit when they're young. We're not the worst thing they've seen or heard.
We're so tame. Not at all. But definitely tell their parents. And, you know, if their parents are cool, then they'll let the kids listen to. We're not like super fucking, you know, terrible.
They live in 2023. It's a hellhole. This is a relief from reality for them.
Exactly.
Yes. Great.
Who should they tell?
I think you should tell a warlock after this.
Okay. Cool.
Find a warlock. I don't know how. Some Reddit. I don't fucking know where they are. And let a warlock know about the show. And tell them listen and tell all their warlocky friends. They probably have some Wiccan friends in there too. Spread the word.
Yeah.
And till next week, happy Halloween and bye.
Happy Halloween, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.